Morning. So, had a good night's sleep last night. Bit achy this morning, as you might imagine, but gonna crack on. And I also had an email last night that told me that the insulation is going to be delivered today. Actually, today is going to start with putting the floor down. It'll take a while. I mean, I've got to put the battens down, measure it up, cut the wood, treat the wood, then wait for that to dry, put it down. I'm going to do it in sections, but at least at least I'll start something on the boat finally. Catch you later. So the insulation has arrived early than expected, which I suppose is a good thing, but it means you get more hauling out. And shock horror, there's 7 more sheets of plywood in there, so my plywood hauling days are not over yet. This one comes with its own little built-in forklift, so hopefully, well, not hopefully, they're able to have to go begging for somebody for a forklift here. And the guy said you can get it right up the container, which will be absolutely fantastic. It looks great from this, I have to say. Kind of like dodging some adults. Bye now! Very much. Well, the lovely people here helped me in there, so actually that's taken about 10 minutes to get in. Another job success completed, yes. Yeah. The only thing is, I've sent the wrong plywood. This was meant to be softwood plywood and light. It's actually quite nice stuff, but it all depends whether it's meant to be for the front of the cabinets, so it depends whether I want to change it or not. This colour scheme, and I'll give them a call and see what they say. Finally, we're getting down to work. I am getting down to work. So, jobs ahead is to put the battens in the right place, and that's not just going to go straight down all the way. It depends on where some of the layout is, because I want to be able to lift some of the floorboards, and also where heavier things are, I want to try and support them. But also, you need to make sure there's still enough support for the boards. Very annoyingly, I've discovered that it doesn't quite fit on the span. So I'm gonna have to chop that bit off and waste that. So that'll add up to a bit of scrap. But as it is, obviously got to take it all out again, of course, now and saw it. So once again, this is why things always take longer than you expect. So I was just cutting the battens just now and ready to start putting them in. I noticed when I was cleaning this out that some of these, well, I guess there was a washer dropped at the end when they were doing the spray painting, and then the washer's gone, and now we've just got a piece of blank steel there. And this bit at the very back is where any water in the bilge on this part will collect. So this is the bit that's going to be wet. So we don't want bare steel there. So I'm going to do a small detour now to mix up some epoxy paint and paint that. I might just, it's a bit rubbish there. I might just actually paint it all, see how it goes. I haven't used epoxy paint before, so this is 2-pack epoxy paint, that is, as in you have to mix it like you do with glue, and it goes off quite quickly. But let's see, I can always see bits of fluff floating down, so luckily it's under the bilge. It's not going to be a particularly good finish, I'm sure. But it does mean also I can finally now touch up the scrapes that got here on the journey. I mean, it's been hiding under the shower for now, but then as you can see, they've already started to get rusty. So to nip those in the bud would be probably good. So while I'm mixing up a bit of paint. First of all, I've got to sand it all back to get back to the shiny metal rather than leaving all the rust. I mean, this bit will actually be in use. This will be covered up by the fender anyway, but anyways, not seeing it's irrelevant. If it's rusty, it's going to be rusting, so I want to patch this up before it grows any worse. This bit here, where the metal's got bashed in, it's really difficult to get into the little pit, actually get rid of all the rust. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Sanding in boats seems to be a very common activity. In fact, you can hear sanding in the background. But somebody's there with a electric sander. I might have to give that a bad job because I don't think I'm going to get into that pit. Right, welcome to Narrowboat Midlife Crisis Love Island edition. Sorry about the lack of clothes, but it's two things. One, it's very hot again, and two, as I'm going to start painting, and I don't actually have any paint clothes with me, so I don't want to wreck up any decent t-shirts, so I haven't got that many. Anyway, it looks, so this stuff is somewhat more complex than normal paint. In fact, I can't believe I've just had to phone up the distributor to ask how the hell you open the can. If you look at this, it's not quite your average paint can, and there's this thing in the middle, and I wonder if you had to pop that off. But no, apparently this red thing somehow comes off, and there's a normal can underneath, but how you actually how that actually there we go. Right, I see, yes. So this thing in the middle of the told me is how they have the tint if you're having it coloured. You have this in any colour that you wish, well, any colour, anything on the RAL colour chart. So yeah, and then the other thing is if you've got to set its epoxy, you've got to mix it with the reactant to make it start curing. So two things. One, you've got to be accurate with that. And for large things, it's by volume, but also they recommend by weight. However, I'm only going to try a tiny bit at the moment, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to just. You're given a chart with all the different litres. I haven't a clue how much I will need, but I guess half a litre will be more than enough. Given the expense, I don't want to be mixing this for no real reason. So I've also bought some syringes, and that should be helpful to measure by sort of volume as well. So what I might do is actually both. I might measure by weight, as in, right, put it on the scales, but actually put the volume in anyway, so here goes. By the way, this is a very old chisel that's only ever been used for things like this these days. I'm not reckoning of good tools. Well, that's expected to be half empty. So, assuming it hasn't leaked, it was all very nicely packaged. Well, of course it hasn't leaked. I know why it's like this, because if you're using it, you just dump, if you want to have a whole tin, you just dump the whole tin of the part B in, I suppose, which will make sense. So, let's try. Right. So, if we try. I think looking at the amount of this, I'm going to go for a 1/4 litre. So I'm going to do some quick maths there. So I need 305, quite a bit to go yet. There we go, 305. Now, from what I understand, this is soluble in acetone, which is basically nail polish remover, so let's see. Yep. 111, so 50. Yeah, 55 basically. You know what? I'm just going to do that. Get some gloves because I bought them for this purpose. I think it's all covered. Looks like honey. So, yes. 55. There we go. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Right, where's my two scales? It's quite good news. It's a lot lighter grey than the one I thought this was. Unless it dries a lot darker, but that means it's a bit easier to see where I need to go. And I'm going to use this for the engine bay, and a bit lighter will be nicer. Oh, that's. Imagine with the I'm going to have loads of this. I might have to do an impromptu go somewhere else because then I'm not. Hang on, give us a. Oof. Well, it's Friday, you know. To this, I won't be needing a Friday night drink, that's for sure. Should be wearing some kind of mask, but you'd have to have quite a fancy one to be, you know, keeping out fumes rather than Right, well, that's my first bit of two-pack painting. He says, doing a bit more. It's true when you start painting, you just, especially, I mean, it's a quick spray coat, and you just start seeing bits everywhere that it's not even half reasonable to think. I mean, gosh, that's not. And this is, you know, it shouldn't even be getting wet. This. But actually, under the door, who knows? Of course, it's gone from nice, yeah, perfectly pristine boat now to daubs of quickly applied paint. Right, I gotta stop, otherwise I'll spend the rest of the. Oh, he says, just notice a bit there. I mean, while I'm given that started this is the thing is, it's painted underneath, so if you see bits through, it doesn't really matter. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. Right, I think I'll go and do those bits outside, and then. So I think I'll have to. Well, I'll put some inside in the front locker because I'm not letting this go to waste. Well, I think I just found a third bedroom I didn't know I had. I'm actually glad I'm undoing in here because I can see, from my point of view, and you can see why they didn't paint it, but there's bits that have really quite been missed. Given this is outdoors. So yeah, all these white bits here were totally, there you go guys, totally unpainted, and especially here above the door was completely bare metal, and in the back there, so I'm actually quite glad that I got that, even though I've just realised I'm now leaning on other paint, so no doubt I'll have quite a bit of white hair than I had when I started this.